Hey everyone, it's Brandy and welcome back to my channel, Brandy Janae's Bookshelf. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the books that I'm going to be attempting to read in February. It seems like every February I manage to put as many books as I can possibly fit on my TBR, and I honestly don't know why, because it becomes a little overwhelming at some point, because it's just like, can I possibly read that many books in only 28 days? But we will see. I feel like at least this month most of my books are on the shorter end, or like an average length, compared to last month when I had Kingdom of Ash on my TBR and it was pretty much taking over all of my reading. But like I did last month, I have my TBR split into 3 main sections, and then I have some subsections and like my biggest category of books. So part of the reason why I have so many books on my TBR is because I have the basics that I usually put on there, but then I also have books that I meant to get to last month, but like I said, because Kingdom of Ash took over so much of my reading, I did not get to them. So I decided to just move them over to February, even though they don't completely fit into some of the things I was trying to do. And then I also have like Outcrate books that I want to get to. And then, if you have not already heard, Blackathon is taking place throughout the month of February. So if you haven't heard about it and don't know what it is, this is a readathon that is supposed to be focusing and celebrating Black authors, Black characters or main characters, and things of that nature. This is hosted by Jesse from Bow Ties and Books, I believe is their channel name, Francina Simone, and Lauren from the novel Lush. So they all have announcement videos. You can definitely go check those out if you are looking for more information. There are challenges for this specific readathon, and like I said, it is taking place all month long, but I will get a little bit more into that when I get into specific books that I pulled on my that I put on my TBR for this readathon. And then yeah, I think I pretty much covered everything. As for the books, like I said, I have to split into 3 main categories. The first being my book club category. For my first book, like last month, I don't know what specific book we're going to be reading. If I do have any other information, I will make sure to include that. At the moment, the poll has not gone up for the vote for the February book pick yet, but as soon as it does, hopefully it goes up before I post this video. So if that is, if that's posted, I can let you guys know so you can go and vote on that poll. For the other book club that I am going to, I think for sure, be participating in this year, or at least so far, because they're books that I've been interested in, is for the Dragons and Tea book club, which is hosted by Melanie and Amy. And their book pick for February is A Girl Like Her by Talia Hibbert. This is following an interracial romance. Moving on to my arcs, the 2 arcs that I have on my TBR are 2 that I also mentioned last month. I just did not have the time to get to them, which was okay because they weren't like an immediate thing that I needed to get to. The first one being Getting Hot with the Scott by Melanie Johnson. I re-looked at my emails, found out that this one comes out in April, so once again, this one is if I have time or if I'm in a mood for an additional romance besides the ones that I'm really looking forward to getting to, then I will read this one. If not, then I will push it back to March. March will be the month that I definitely, make sure to read it so I can get my review done before the book releases in April. And then the other arc that I have is Internment by Samira Ahmed. This one comes out in March, so this is one that I definitely want to get to this month. And the other main section that I had was my everything else section, but like I said, I do have this split into certain categories, so I will break these down to simplify it just a bit more. So like I mentioned before, there were some books that I did not get to in January. I'm filming this on the 29th of January, so I have a feeling that I will get started with one of these books, but I don't think that I'm gonna finish it. But that is Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead and Blue Bloods by Melissa De La Cruz. Both of these were on my TBR because I'm trying to get through the series, but I am not gonna have both of these finished before January ends. If I have enough extra time, I might move on to the second book in each series, but for right now I'm just going to attempt to finally get to the first book in each of these series. Moving on to the next subsection that I have in the everything else section, which is my Outcrate books. So I do have two because I did not get to one of them in January, and like I said with the other two books I just talked about, I don't think I will finish them, or I don't even think I will be able to start this before January's over. And the first one is Amber and Dusk by Lyra Celine. This was the book pick in the December Outcrate box. And then the book that came in the January Outcrate box, which is a slight spoiler from my book haul, is The Gilded Wolves by Roshni Choksi. I completely forgot that Outcrate has a Facebook book club set up for their book picks of the month. And they have it set up where you read a certain amount, so you can, like, I think every week you get a certain amount of pages to read, so you can be reading this throughout the month. And then I believe they either have a live show or some type of discussion, and you can also discuss in the different sections on the Facebook page. I'm gonna take the time to go look at the subsections for this one over the weeks and follow along with that timeline, so I can be reading this and get it done but not be super stressed about this one. So this is probably a book that I'm gonna be reading a little more slowly. Unless I get really into it, then I might, you know, pick it up, like put it a book off and just pick it up and finish it, because I typically like focusing on one story at a time and just getting through it. But that's not going to be the easiest thing to do with all the books that I have on my TBR. So we're going to see if that works out this month, and if it does work out, I will continue to do it. But obviously I will let you guys know how that works out in the my February wrap up. So all of the rest of the books that I have on my TBR for the month are books that I picked to go along for the challenges or just to read for Blackathon. I believe all of the books that I picked are by Black authors or about Black characters, like main characters. First, I do have a couple books that I don't have physical copies of, so I will start with those. I have Skyward Volume 1, and there is a little subsection of the title, but I didn't write that down, by Joe Henderson. If you're interested in this one too, I'm not sure if all Hoopla accounts have the same thing, even if you're with different libraries, but if they do, or you can always check, this is available on Hoopla, so I'm going to download that from there. Another comic that I saw on Hoopla as well is Moonstruck Volume 1. And this one also had a subtitle by Grace Ellis. I did also see Bingo Love, and it was like, I think it was like the bonus edition. It was called something because it has extra content in there. That's also available on Hoopla, so I think I'm going to check that one out as well, so I can get some comics in, because they're too expensive for me to buy physically at the moment, considering how quickly I'll get through them, and I'm really trying to take advantage of my library along with my books on my shelves. The last one that I don't have a physical copy of is Once Ghosted, Twice Shy by Alyssa Cole. This is a novella that takes place in the Reluctant Royal series. This one is following Lakotsi. If you've read A Princess in Theory, you know the prince's assistant. We know that she is seeing someone in that first book, but we know also that it doesn't end up working out. So in this novella, we're following her as she like reconnects with this woman, finds out what happened, and see where their relationship goes from there. So I'm looking forward to seeing how, like I said, this one plays out from there. I've already heard really good things about it from people who have already read it, so I can't wait to pick this one up. Okay, moving on to the physical books that I have, like I said, for Blackathon. The first one that I have is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. This is actually the group read for the readathon, and I'm still debating on whether or not I want to read this one. I have already read it, and I feel like if I don't have enough time, then I will forego like rereading it for something new, because I read it, I mean, I didn't read it recently, but I feel like I read it recently enough where I don't need to reread it to discuss it at all. I do want to reread this sometime this year, but as you can see, I already have a lot of books on my TBR, so this one isn't as important as some of the other ones that I would like to get to. Then I have the entire Binti trilogy by Nnedi Okorafor. So we have Binti, The Night Masquerade, or no, that's Home, and then that's The Night Masquerade. Like I said, all three of these by Nnedi Okorafor. This is a sci-fi novella series, and as you can see, these aren't very long at all. Next, I have The Proposal by Jasmine Guillory. I'm really wary about this one because pretty much all of the people that I listened to their romance recommendations, they did not like this, and I have just like been putting it off since then because I pre-ordered this and I didn't want to cancel it because I wanted to support the author, but everyone was just like, this was like completely like in left field compared to The Wedding Date. So I'm already really wary about this. I have a feeling I won't like it, but it obviously fits into this category, and it also fits into one of the challenges, even though I think I have enough books to fit in all the challenges at least once. But I do want to read it because I do own it and I don't want to just have it sitting on my shelf. Next, I have Black Enough, which is an anthology about being young and black in America, which is edited by E.B. Zaboy. And the last two books that I have on my TBR are two books that I pre-ordered last year and I never got to. So I really want to get to them, and I just thought of another book, but we're not going to get that. Anyway, so the first one of those is The Bells by Mia Clayton. And the last book that I have on my TBR for February and for Blackathon is Dread Nation by Justina Ireland. That's all the books that I have on my TBR for February. Are you guys participating in Blackathon? If so, let me know some of the books you're planning on reading for it. Also, just let me know some of the books you're planning on reading in February in general. Besides this one, I know that also Contemporary-a-thon, another round, is happening, so I might participate in that, but I feel like I might just focus on the books that I have on my TBR because a lot of them aren't contemporaries. I don't want to, like, you know, have a whole nother set of books to try to read just for Contemporary-a-thon. So I'm not completely sure. We will see, but that's all I have for you guys in this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and if you would like to see more from me, make sure you subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again in the next one. Bye.